Tonight on Si's Eyes on the Skies.
Taking a look at Si's Eyes here, looking from the ISU Memorial Union, we are starting to see those showers and some cloud cover coming in there. I'll have more on those showers and precip coming up later.
Plus, Zion has your national forecast. All that and more on this Monday, March 24th edition of Si's Eyes on the Skies starts now.
Broadcasting live from the studios at Iowa State University, the Iowa State Meteorology Department brings you the latest weather from across the country and out your front door. This is Si's Eyes on the Skies.
Good evening. I'm your host, Braden Tate. Exactly 50 years ago, on the morning of March 24th, 1975, just as the people of Atlanta were waking up, an F3 tornado tore a 14-mile path of destruction from the old Bankhead Highway to Brookhaven. This tornado was later referred to as the Governor's Tornado, after having caused extensive damage to the governor's mansion. Governor George Busby was in the shower when the tornado hit. He knew immediately what was going on. He grabbed his wife and ran to the middle of the building. Whether he had time to grab a robe or a towel is not known. Later that morning, as more than a dozen state troopers walked the grounds surveying the damage, a pitcher of orange juice and a plate of toast were still on the dining room table. The twister caused about $56 million in damage, which, according to the U.S. inflation calculator, is equivalent to $330 million today. And now, to discuss more with what's happening around the country, here's Zion with your national forecast.
Yeah, if we take a look at what's going on around the country right now, we are starting to see warming here in the Midwest. We might see some active weather across the United States. And then for our Texans, we are going to see some drought relief for you guys. I'll have much more in my forecast coming up here in a few minutes.
Welcome back. Now let's go to the national forecast with Zion. So Zion, as spring rolls around, are we going to get any severe weather?
You know, honestly... Okay.
The answer is yes.
Yes,
we
the
will.
answer is yes. Do I just restart or no? Or just keep going?
This is staying in.
Okay, this is staying. Okay. You know, Braden, as spring rolls around, we are going to start to see that severe risk. Maybe not right now, but later in the week, we might see that for a couple of people. As we look at our four corners currently across the U.S., we do see a cold temperature of 27 in Caribou, 36 in Toronto, 50 in New York, as well as 54 Homa Skyline Chili of Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, as for our southeast folks, we do have a temperature of 77 in Miami, 61 in Atlanta, and a temperature of 85 in San Antonio, and 77 in the DFW area. For our southwest friends over here, temperature of 74 in San Francisco, really hot in Phoenix, 95 degrees, and a nice temperature of 70 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. As for our northwest friends, temperature of 56 in Seattle, 68 in Boise, and a temperature of 60 in Billings. And as we look at our satellite and radar now, we're pretty dry across this half of the United States. However, we do see a stretch of rain stretching from the panhandle of Florida all the way to New York. And we do see some snow accumulating here in the Michigan, as well as our friends in Canada. And then we do see some shower activity in Seattle, as well as parts of the Dakotas. Now, for our futurecast and our temperatures, we are going to start to warm up, as I said earlier. However, Tuesday morning, as you head out the door, temperature 43 for you guys in Denver, 65 in Phoenix, 57 in San Francisco, and then 62 in New Orleans. Now, Tuesday evening, as I will say, 88 in San Antonio, 96 in Phoenix, and temperature 75 in San Francisco, 49 in Minneapolis. As we go into Wednesday morning now, you will get a break. You will continue to get a break in these mornings from these 90s Phoenix, 54 in San Francisco, 41 in Denver, and a temperature of 29 in Toronto as well as Minneapolis. Now, going into Wednesday evening now, continuing to see those 90s in Phoenix, 73 in Denver, 80 in New Orleans. Honestly, perfect weather to have a seafood boil. And a temperature 79. Go hit the beach. Go have some fun. And then Thursday morning, once again, Phoenix getting the break from those 90s that they have. 53 in San Francisco and 35 in Minneapolis, 47 in Kansas City. And then finally, around 11 for you guys, 66 in San Antonio, 71 in New Orleans, and 39 in New York. Now, for our rainfall totals, we are going to see some accumulating precip as, that shower activity that I mentioned before, that is going to bring a little rain to you guys, as well as central Iowa and southern Illinois, and then as well as our friends along the coast. And then through Friday, we're going to see more shower activity to the Montana area, as well as more of the Illinois region, as well as our rain is going to stretch into the Washington, D.C. area. And then for our Texans out there, we are going to start to see more precipitation accumulating. The blue amounts generally indicate an inch of rain here. And then for our friends down in Mexico, we are going to start to see some rain for them. Now, as I mentioned before, the drought conditions are going to be alleviated a bit because we are going to start to see those rainfall totals in Texas start to climb up, especially around Corpus Christi. You guys are going to get dumped on rain. Now, looking at the week ahead for Ashtabula, Ohio, I found out about this city when I was procrastinating doing assignments. But as you see, they see similar weather to the folks here in Iowa. Temperature of 58 on Sunday, and then we do start to cool down once again to 45 on Monday.
Thank you, Zion. It's time for our trivia question for the evening. What is the lowest pH value ever recorded for a single rainstorm? Is it A, 1.5 inches, B, 2.4, C, 3.3, or D, 4.2? We'll have that answer for you at the end of the show, plus we'll have Adriane with your Iowa weather after the break.
It only takes a careless moment to turn this into this. Don't let forest fires be your fault. Make sure your fire is dead out.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
Welcome back. Let's take a look now at your Iowa weather with Adriane. So Adriane, we supposed to get any rain this week here in Iowa?
That's something we're going to have to look into. But I want to ask you, actually, how do you feel about temperatures in Iowa? What do you like the best?
I like a nice 68 for a low, 72 for a high, not much change, 10-mile-per-hour winds, perfect day.
That sounds like a perfect day, but I have some bad news for you. That is not going to happen this week. Maybe on Friday, we do have that chance. But as we're going to look here at our Iowa map here, taking a look at our temperatures, we are sitting in 40s for most of the state here, 44 in Fort Dodge, 48 in Carroll. Council Bluffs, you are sitting there at 57. You are the warmest in the state right now. Sioux City there at 52. And then moving on to our next graphic here, we are looking at our skycast for tonight. We do see a couple of sprinkles in our forecast. Temperatures being in those upper 30s, 36 degrees. Winds coming out of the west-northwest there at 12 miles per hour. So just be aware, might need to bring an umbrella out for tonight. But looking at our zonecast highs for tomorrow, we're going to focus here on northeast Iowa for right now. Most of you guys are going to be sitting in those 50s, 56 in Waterloo and Eldora as well. Hampton, you are sitting there at 53, as well as Mason City, so it could be a pretty fair day tomorrow. But looking here at southeast Iowa, you are going to start hitting those 60s there, especially in Keosauqua and Centerville. They're at 61. Knoxville, you are sitting there at 60, but as we get to the east here, You're seeing 54 in Clinton and Davenport as well. As we get into southwest Iowa, maybe the warmest area of Iowa tomorrow, sitting in those lower to mid-60s there with Shenandoah there at 65. Red Oak, you are sitting there at 64. Denison, you are there at 60 degrees. Could be a pretty nice night and a pretty nice day as well. But as we look at northwest Iowa, which is my home area, we are going to look at Pocahontas. You are sitting there at 57. Cherokee, there at 59. But here in Lamar's, Iowa, which is my hometown, AKA the ice cream capital of the world, we are sitting there at 60 degrees. Should be a pretty nice day for tomorrow, except for that chance that we do have for precip. Looking here at Tuesday morning, we do see that precip making its way into the Ames area, especially. That should progress to the southeast by Tuesday there at 6 a.m. Again, this precip should be kind of spotty throughout the day, but looking here by Tuesday night, we do see a couple of heavy showers there just southeast of Mason City. But once we make it through the nighttime at 11 p.m., we do see those showers there in northeast Iowa. But looking at the rest of the night, we are looking pretty clear. Besides the fact here in southwest Iowa, you may get a couple of those showers as well. These could be very well isolated. Not much of a worry severe weather-wise. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of auroras. But for tonight, we do have that forecast. We may not be able to see it directly overhead, but Minneapolis and north, you will probably be able to see that aurora. Some cloud cover may tamper that effect, though may not be able to see that. But looking here in Ames, Iowa for the 7-day forecast, we're going to sit in those upper 50s on Tuesday. Wednesday, you're starting to get into those 60s as well as Thursday. But look at here on Friday, we're getting into those 80s. Could be a little windy. We do start seeing those shower conditions into Saturday and Sunday, but once we get into Monday there, we do see ourselves falling into those mid-40s.
Thank you, Adriane, for that forecast. And now for our trivia question answer. What is the lowest pH value ever recorded for a single rainstorm? Is it A, 1.5, B, 2.4, C, 3.3, or D, 4.2? Well, what do you guys think?
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest, we just did this.
Yeah,
so
we just did this.
we do know the answer, which is pretty unfortunate, but I am gonna just go a little off script here. I'm probably gonna go 4.2, just because it's the highest number, and I like when numbers are higher when it comes to pH values.
Yeah, like how I said last session, I said the right answer because, I'm good.
So
But, for our viewers at home, we're going to go with the incorrect answer. And also, I sucked at chem, so we're going to go A, 1.5 as a pH value.
Well, here's my logic. A lot of the women I've been meeting have been quite toxic, so we're going A, 1.5.
Okay.
And the correct answer is B, 2.4, which occurred in Palachi, Scotland on April 10th, 1974.
That's some
making
really
the
interesting input.
Yeah, that was very
well,
Not gonna lie.
that was my logic.
That was your logic? I mean,
The logic is there, I guess.
if it's there, then, I guess you could say it as an answer.
My grandma told me to trust my gut. And on that concludes tonight's show. Be sure to follow us on X/Twitter, and you can find all of our shows on YouTube under our Size Eyes channel. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night. Boom, 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 boom.